toys for you. Okay, they're not really toys. Did you hear that? She's like, I want it! Sounded like Gollum a little bit. I want the precious. You know what? Since you have such a cute voice that woos me to your presence, you may have, look at this, you guys, this is some action. This is one of the brand new Risible Rangers hoodies. Yeah. Now, who made that beautiful voice? Come here, baby. Yay, what's your name?
Abby.
Abby, you're awesome. This is for you. Play with your toy. How are you guys? Okay, now I have a really big dilemma here. I want to come down and talk to you, but the lights are up there. So I'm not really sure. What should we do? What should we do? What should we do? What should we do?
Storm the stage.
Don't storm this. Ah, that's better. I suppose that'll work, right? Hey! Hi, guys. Okay. Oh, I love you. What's your name?
My name's Tanner.
Tanner, can I get you to do something for me? Keep an eye on this toy. Don't let anyone play with it. Right? You guys, I love you. I've been looking forward to this all weekend. I'm so glad you're here. How's the weekend going for you? Excellent. She's just a really cool girl right here. She's like this. That's because she's exhausted all the rest of her energy all week, and this is all she can do. Real quick, let me do a real quick little bit of housekeeping. Just tell you guys just some kind of basic information. I don't want to forget some things. Number one, if you are not a member of the most awesome fan group on the planet, we have hoodies. Now we've established. How many Risible Rangers in the house? Oh my gosh, that's what I'm talking about. Risible Ranger in a Captain Kirk uniform. That's perfect. I love that man. But I can't believe I just did that. That was really bad. If you are not a member, consider yourselves officially invited to join. Guys, girls, aliens, parents, grandparents, makes no difference. We would love to have you in our group. We've got 17,000 members worldwide. That's like a small country. And we have no economic problems in our country. So, in the Risible Rangers country, that is. So, consider yourselves personally invited to join. You would instantaneously have a family of a lot of people that love all the things you love, and you make great friends, and some people even meet love interests. They have a little love connection, you know, in the Rangers. So, anything's possible. That's what we learned from the Rangers. Also, if you guys are on Twitter, if you guys follow people on Twitter, I'd like to invite you to follow me there. If you can figure out how to spell my last name, it's at Vic Mignogna. You're like, at Vic McDurbadur. Or, you know, a few months from now, once you figure out how to spell it, you'll be able to follow me. Who said that? I love you, sweetie. You're adorable. Wow. How beautiful. How many of you guys went to the ball last night? Good Lord. I've never seen so many beautiful gowns and people dressed up so nice. It was amazing. You guys that were there that I got to see last night, you looked so beautiful. And you guys, you looked beautiful too. I have to say. Let's see, what else? Oh. I have something very important to tell you. It's a wig, actually. It's a toupee. I hear you knocking. Hey, can we try something?
Sure, of course.
Okay, bear with me a second. I gotta tell you a little story. So I get cast in this new show at Funimation. and it's called Level E. All right? Now, this is important. Ooh, look, there's a poster. Poster. Okay, so I said to the people at Funimation, I bet I could really generate a lot of excitement about this show after I recorded it. It was so much fun. I had so much fun. And I started telling everybody at Funimation how awesome the show was, and that it was the most fun that I had had since Oran High School Host Club. It was. So I told these people at Funimation, I'm like, I'm going to promote this, and I said, I think I could probably generate a good bit of excitement about it. And you know what the Funimation people said? No, you can't. They're like, we don't think that you being excited about a show makes much difference at all. Okay, so my first reaction was, right? I was like, what? I mean, you think it doesn't matter if I'm personally jazzed about a show and I tell people how much awesome it is? And they're like, no, not really. And so I'm like, okay, so let's have a little experiment. So I said to my friends at Funimation, let's try something. You guys have a projection on how well you think the show will do, right? Obviously they did. They're business people, and they strategize how much they think, how good a show will do before they ever even acquire the license or dub the show. So I said, you have that number in your mind, you're thinking of a number, and then I'm gonna go out and I'm going to bleed for Level E. How many were in the premiere today? I showed up in a long blonde wig. That's how much of a nerd I am. I kind of half cosplayed as my character. It's kind of cross-playing, actually, I think. But I looked very pretty. But, so here's what I'd like to do. I'd like you guys to help me with an experiment. I want to see if it does make a difference. I want to see if somebody whose work you've enjoyed and who takes a personal enthusiasm about a show. I mean, I've done 100 different shows, but not all of them are that, are that exciting. Not all of them kind of jazz you up, like Full Metal jazzed me up crazy, right? And Oran High School jazzed me up crazy. Well, I love this Level E show, and so I want to tell you guys about it, and I want you to check it out. I want you to go to Funimation's website or go to wherever and check out the trailer and check out Level E. And if you like some of the other stuff that we've put together, I think you'll enjoy this. So that's the experiment I want you to help me with. Now, it's something very important I need to tell you. This is very important. I do not make 1 penny more or less. This has absolutely zero to do with making any money for me. I just want you to know. I get paid, all voice actors, in case you didn't know this, we get paid an hourly rate to voice act. So, like, some of you probably think, oh, you probably live in like a mansion because Full Metal is very popular. No, I didn't make any more but the hourly rate to do my voice acting job, no matter how popular or unpopular a show may be. So this is not at all about trying to make any money. It's purely an experiment, okay? That's all it's about. So let me encourage you, with all the enthusiasm I can, to check out Level E. It's a very, very funny show, and it's like crack cocaine, only it's not illegal. So at least I don't think it is. It may be, but I don't think so. For those of you that are wondering about, some of you, when we get to the question part of this, may ask, what shows are you working on right now? I'm working on a lot of shows right now. I'm very excited. I'm so excited to tell you I am officially a brony. I know, I don't know what that means, but I am one. Now the reason that I'm saying I'm a brony is because I just got done playing the lead in the new Pokemon movie, and this character's name is Keldeo, and he looks like a My Little Pony. So as soon as I saw his cute little pony face on the screen, you know what I did? pulled out my camera, took a picture of the pony of my Keldeo guy, and I sent it to my sweet friend Tara Strong, who plays like what? Sprinkle. What is it? Twilight Sparkle. Now there's a name. Any pregnant women in the room, write that name down because your baby is going to want to be called Twilight Sparkle. I promise you. I just finished that. There are several new shows coming out soon that I'm excited to be a part of. Some of them have not been announced yet. There is one called Tiger and Bunny. There are a couple more I'm not at liberty to speak of yet. But of course we're still doing Naruto and Bleach. But I think Bleach has an ending now. Did you hear that? I've written my own ending to Bleach. In my ending, Ikaku gets a hair transplant for men and he joins the hair club and he has this awesome, like, you know, cool, swervy head of hair by the end of the episode. But anyway, that's just my ending. So, let's see, what else? Oh yes, I have to tell you, so excited. Just the way a lot of you like anime and you're in your young years, you kind of gravitated toward it. It became this passion where you would write about it, and you'd make costumes and make movies about it, and you'd love it. Well, for me, that was Star Trek, all right? And so I have to tell you guys, and you guys, like you, young lady, I'll bet your parents love Star Trek. If you don't, I'll bet your parents or probably grandparents probably love it. I see that hand, yes. Yeah, absolutely. So, here's what I have to tell you. Write down these 3 words. Star Trek continues. I have put together a team of people. I have partnered up with some other people, and we are creating a new web series called Star Trek Continues. Now, let me tell you how awesome this is, all right? We have a 9,000 square foot facility in Georgia. That's right. We have a 9,000 square foot facility in Georgia. And guess what we're building in that facility? We are rebuilding all of the original sets to the original soundstage from Star Trek. I'm talking about the big, long, bending corridor that they walk down, the briefing room, sick bay, transporter room, bridge. We've even got a Jeffries tube. For those of you hardcore fans, you know what I'm talking about, right? So here's the thing. Go to Vimeo. You guys know Vimeo. Go to Vimeo and type in Star Trek Continues, and you'll be able to watch our first little trailer teaser vignette. We released about a 5 or 6 minute vignette. I even have it. If we have time, maybe we could show it here in the panel. But here's the cool part. My cast of actors is awesome. So I am getting to play, I'm fulfilling a childhood dream, you guys. I'm getting to play Captain Kirk. And I am absolutely nerding out about it. If you'd have told the 12-year-old kid, little Victor at 12, that one day he would get to put on a uniform and walk onto the bridge of the Enterprise and play that character that he grew up loving, he would be like, you're stupid. It wouldn't even been a dream. It could have never happened. But I'm very excited. No, we're cool for now. So I'm very excited to tell you now. Guess who else is in it? I'm glad you asked. Who here is a big enough fan of the original series that you can tell me who played Scotty in the original series of Star Trek? Come here.
James Doohan.
James Doohan, Jimmy Doohan, Scotty, the Scotty, right? As in Beam Me Up Scotty, that guy. Guess who's playing Scotty in my series? His son, Chris Doohan. How freaking awesome is that? To see this guy walk onto the bridge in uniform playing his father's role. When we shot the vignette earlier, he literally was almost in tears. But you know why? Check this out, y'all. When he was 7, 8, 9 years old, his dad took him and his twin brother to the sets when he was shooting the original series of Star Trek. He would take his sons to the set and be like, he put them in the shuttlecraft and say, stay here. I gotta go shoot. So Chris Doohan was actually on the original soundstage when he was a little boy. And to be a part of this production is super awesome. Now, how many of you guys watch Mythbusters? Me too! Well, Grant Imahara from Mythbusters is playing Sulu. And you guys, he's the biggest nerd! And I say that, if you guys put this video on YouTube, who's putting a video on YouTube? You putting this on YouTube? Grant, baby, love you. You are the coolest ever. I say that, when I call somebody a nerd, that's a compliment. When I tell somebody they're a geek, I mean it as a compliment. Exactly, right? Yes. So, I've also got some other voice actors playing characters in the show, and we are scheduled to shoot our first episode in January, first full episode, and here's the last little bit of geekdom that I'm going to share about Star Trek for now. Our first episode is a sequel to an original series episode, and here comes the cool part. The actor who played the guest starring role in the original episode 46 years ago is reprising his role for our episode. So like the original guy who played the character in the first original series episode is going to be playing it in our sequel. So check it out, StarTrekContinues.com. We have a website. Star Trek Continues on Vimeo, and check out our little vignette. Or maybe we'll show it later, we'll see how much time we have. We have so much to talk about, so little time. So, what else? Right, tomorrow morning I've got a panel, if you guys are so inclined. Right, there's a, what's it called? Redemption something or other. I'm getting old. I can't think of it. Spock, help me. Anyway, I'm not gonna do that, by the way, when I do the series. I'm not gonna be. I won't talk like that. All right, let's take some questions. Okay, first hand, right back there. I saw. Yes, sir.
What?
Oh, Keldeo for the Pokemon movie. How did I get picked? Well, I auditioned. I mean, it's kind of funny. Hi, guys. It's kind of funny. I've done a few roles for Pokemon for the series, and then when the movie came out, or they were getting ready to cast for the movie, the director, Tom Whalen, he does some conventions. You may have met him before. He called me and he said, hey, I want you to audition for the main character in this movie. So he sent me some sides, and I read them and sent them back, and he wrote me back and said, hey, when can you come to New York? Because we want you to do this. So I was so excited. We had so much fun, and it was a blast. And he's so cute. He's a little pony. He's a Ponymon instead of Pokemon. Okay, yes, my dear.
I just wanted to say thank you personally for working on Puddle since my dad died just last year.
Oh, sweetheart.
After this convention and watching Puddle just kind of reminded me
Do you mind if I repeat that for people so they can hear what you said? She said that one of the very special things that she shared with her father was Full Metal Alchemist, and her father passed away last year right after AWA. And that continuing to watch Full Metal, and especially scenes where Ed's saying, you know, you got a good set of legs, you should get up and use them, you know, and press forward, and that really helped her. And I gotta tell you guys something. Remember how I talked about being paid an hourly rate to voice act? You might as well just throw that away, because that's the kind of thing that keeps me going. Right there. I mean it with my whole heart. We do not get paid very much, I promise you. We do not get paid much at all. But the trade-off is that you get to be a part of some special things. And for me, to get the chance to have been a part of something that has moved and encouraged and entertained, made you laugh, made you cry, got you through a difficult moment in your life, helped you bond with a brother or sister that you might not have otherwise bonded with, helped you bring your parents into anime, maybe you hated this or that, hated dubs, but you enjoyed Full Metal, whatever the reason, to hear that it had some deeper encouragement. To hear that it had some deeper encouragement than, excuse me, that burrito, wow. That means the world to me. That means the world to me. And several of you guys told me that at the autograph session last night and this afternoon, and you'll never know how priceless that is to me. So thank you for that. Okay, she's got a microphone for questions, but the problem is mixing it up. Hello, my dear.
Has there ever been a character that's changed your life personally or changed the way that you look at life?
Good question. Wow. Well, I will say that I did decide to start my own hose club, but that had nothing to do with... Not true. I will say that I transmuted my mother, but that had nothing to do with playing Edward Elric. No, to be honest with you, can I be honest and tell you this? Playing any particular character never changed me, but playing a character and then doing conventions and meeting you guys, that changed me. Because you can record, listen you guys, you can go into a little booth somewhere and record characters all for years and years and years, but you're somewhat isolated, you know, in that experience. But for me, the chance to come out and meet you guys and interact with you and give you a hug and tell you how grateful I am that you enjoy the stuff that I've done, that is what has changed me. And I'll tell you guys, can I tell you a little secret? Don't let it leave the room. Yeah, right, that's gonna happen, right? Some of you may or may not know, this is gonna be really weird, so I'm just gonna go for it. Some of you may or may not know my faith is very much a part of my life. And I used to lead music at my church. And we're not talking about a little church. We're talking about First Baptist Houston. We're talking about 25, 30,000 members. One of those big ones, you know, the big ones. And I was the music leader. I mean, I played the piano, I wrote the charts, I led the band, I did it every Sunday, and I loved it. It was my chance to give back the music gift that I had been given. So I felt very strongly about it. I did it for 10 or 12 years, okay? But then something really weird happened. And you're probably, some of you may even identify with this. I got called in to the church office by a handful of the deacons and the elders of the church. And I had no idea what to expect. And you know what they said to me? Vic, we understand that you play some character in a TV show, some little teenage kid who's rebellious and he's atheist and he hates God, and we can't have nobody like that on our stage. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that, please, you guys. We all make our share of mistakes, okay? I mean, we all have our own opinions. But I'm sharing this with you because there's a bright thing at the end here, okay? So, jumping off of her question. I sat there across the table from them, and I, almost in tears, I said, "Are you kidding me? Do you know how many people that little pipsqueak has allowed me to reach? Do you know how many people that I get to just share kindness and love and friendship and a hug and an encouraging word? Do you know how many people I get to talk to that our pastor will never get to talk to because of that little pipsqueak?" They didn't get that. They didn't really understand that. So I made a decision. If you look back at the anime conventions, like how many you attend, each voice actor attends, you'll find that about 3 years ago, my convention attendance went like this. Do you know what that was? That was when I decided that I was going to spend my life on my weekends. Instead of leading music at the church, I was going to spend my weekends going out and meeting you guys and spending time interacting with you, because I felt like that was more precious and more valuable to me than just, than doing that thing every Sunday in church. So that has changed me. Being able to come out and talk with you guys and look into your faces and hear amazing stories and experiences, and the list is endless. The things that I've had the privilege of experiencing and being a part of because of coming out more and doing more events. And you can't do both, right? I mean, you can't be in church on Sunday and be at a convention in Atlanta on Sunday. So that's a choice that I made about 4 years ago, and I do not regret it for 1 minute. So thank you for making... I just want to say that, and I'm sorry, let me just apologize if some of you guys are like, "Wow, what a downer. We thought this was going to be a fun panel, and he's like, oh, bringing us down." All right, I just had to tell you that because it's important, and I wanted to share that with you and let you know how much I appreciate that and how much you guys have changed me by my interacting with you. Okay, how about that gentleman right there? The bearded one. Oh, you with the beard.
That story is amazing. Second of all, there's a good deal of Full Metal Alchemist fans in the audience, and as a result, both the original and Brotherhood, and I have to wonder, what was your favorite episode when you were just going through recording in terms of like the technicalities of it? And then now, what's your favorite episode when you've seen our responses and
oh, wow.
seen how it all...
That's an awesome question. You know what my favorite episode was before they ever even aired? My favorite episode was the Uswell Coal Mine episode. Yeah. Remember with what was his name? That, Yoki, yes. And he was stealing everybody's money, remember that? And I loved that. I loved that episode. But then, when I started doing, when the show came out, and I started talking with you guys and doing conventions, my new favorite became the Full Metal versus Flame. Oh my gosh, I loved it so much. And you know what's funny? When people started asking me to repeat lines from the show, and I would repeat them, and they would ask me to do all these different lines, and suddenly I realized something. Like 90% of the lines people asked me to do were all in that one episode. There were so many funny lines and moments in that episode. So that became one of my favorites. And then of course the very ending, just like, I never saw that coming. The whole going through the gate and the real world being on the other side.
Spoilers! Spoilers!
Oh, and you know what? When Mustang gets hit by that bus, I never saw that coming. I mean, he's like, "I love dogs." That was awesome. Like, I wanted, and remember when Ed was standing on the curb and he's like, "Hey, Colonel, there's a greyhound." Oh, never mind. That was my favorite point of the series. I know. I spoiled it. I'm sorry. Yeah. And then, when the homunculi decided to put on the musical, that was a funny episode, wasn't it? Those people, like this young lady here, clearly, probably not into the show because she's like, and she probably doesn't realize that that's just has never happened. It will never happen. But ooh, Solita. You look great, Sol. Do you have a maca? You don't have a maca? Is there a maca in the house? Maca! Your dad loves you. Yes, Sol?
I'm sorry. This is, well, I'm sorry. It's a less serious of a question, but my birthday...
Great. We need to be serious. We need to have fun. Go ahead. We need to get out of the serious and have fun. Go ahead.
Could you sing Happy Birthday to me in Tamaki's voice?
Do you know what just popped into my mind? Has anyone ever seen the video of Marilyn Monroe singing Happy Birthday, Mr. President? Why do I think Tamaki would do that? See, Tamaki doesn't care who he's doing it to. He's got to be romantic. You know what I mean? He's got to be like sappy, sugary, romantic. So, is it your birthday? Come here. Let's go up to the camera. Look. We're gonna be on TV. Look there. Look at the screen. Yeah, zoom in. What are you zooming out? Get in this guy's face. That's better. Hold your shot. What? Hold your shot. No, wait, don't freeze it. We're missing all of these wonderful moments. Now, are you focused? You're gonna roll your focus a little bit. He's a little soft. Now, you don't move the camera because I'm going to reframe us. Ready? 2 shot. There we go. What was your name?
No.
Do you have an arc?
No.
Damn. All right. You ready? I've never done this before, by the way. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Noah. I love your arc. Happy birthday to you. Noah, you don't know how close I just came to going, happy birthday, Mr. President. Okay, yes?
Okay, do you have any advice for anybody that wants to get into voice acting?
Awesome question. How many of you guys, I even told some of you who asked me that at the autograph session to ask me here because I know a lot of people have that question, right? How many of you guys interested in voice acting? See my point? Okay, let me tell you this, you guys. There are 2 things that you need to know about voice acting. Thank you, Benny. Number 1, the main word in voice acting is acting. That may seem like a strange thing to say, but what I mean by that is there are plenty of people that have a nice voice. And there are plenty of people that can imitate, make funny voices and imitate characters. But that's not really what voice acting is about. All of the voice actors that I know were first and foremost actors. They were doing theater. They were studying acting. They were involved in stage productions. They were involved in on-camera productions. They were taking any opportunity to act. Okay? So that's the first thing. If you are interested in voice acting, get involved in acting. Get in your school productions. Take acting classes. Get into community theater. Get into church programs. Take any opportunity to develop your skills as an actor. Okay? That's number 1. Number 2, it may seem simple, but it's true. Location. You have to live where that kind of work is done. Now, I've said many times, if you guys have seen this on a video, I apologize, it's on YouTube too many times, but if I wanted to be a country singer, I'd move to Nashville, right? Because that's where they do that kind of thing, right? Oh, darling, I love you, right? Whatever. I mean, if I wanted, you understand what I'm saying? If I wanted to do a certain thing, the smart thing to do would be to be where that kind of work is done. There are only a handful of places where, hey, Erica, if you want to pick somebody and have them ready, we'll do that. And just do me a favor and mix it up. You know what I mean? Just kind of go around the room. If you want to get involved, those kind of in voice acting, there are only a handful of cities where that kind of work is done. Number 1, Los Angeles. Number 2, Dallas, Houston, Vancouver. Of course, you can kind of forget that because they won't let us do stuff up there. That's the bummer. I mean, I wanted to be in Death Note so bad, but Viz decided to dub Death Note in Canada. So you'll notice that all the actors are Canadians because they wouldn't let us be in it. The exec producer of Inuyasha wanted me to play the lead in one of the Inuyasha movies, but then they told him he wasn't allowed to use me because I'm not a Canadian citizen. So that's kind of one of the trade-offs. Well, hold on. That's one of the trade-offs, you see, because if Canada gives you a break, if this young lady right here has an anime production and she wants to dub it in Canada because she'll save money, Canada says, okay, we'll let you come up here and dub it, but you got to use our people. See, that's the way it works. That's the way they're able to get more work for their citizens. So Vancouver and and New York, a little bit New York City. But those are kind of the handful. Now let me say something very important, you guys. There's a difference between voice acting and voiceover. Voiceover is, if you're suffering from hemorrhoids, take the medicine approved by doctors. Right? Or, so my wife made me spaghetti tonight, but I really wanted Kraft macaroni and cheese. Okay? That's voiceover, like commercial work, okay? And I have good news for you if you live nearby. Any even minimally sized town is going to have voiceover opportunities. You know why? Because they have businesses that want to advertise, right? You could live in a town of 1,000 people and chances are there's a restaurant or a plumbing store or an automotive store, right? And they want to advertise their business, so they're going to need somebody to do their commercials for them. Atlanta, you can imagine the opportunities there. But that's voiceover. That's not voice acting. It's a little different, okay? So you can get a lot of experience doing that, though. Because one of the best things a voice actor can be is be familiar with his own voice. Know what your voice can do and what it can't do and how long you can do that for. So all of those things will help you become more familiar with your own voice and how to use it. But those are the two main things in voice acting. Acting and location. Erica? Yes. Mario!
Mario!
You look so very pretty, huh?
Thank you.
Woohoo!
I have two, if that's okay. One, what is the absolute most tragic story you've ever heard from a fan?
Oh gosh, I can't tell that story. Everybody gonna cry, huh? They gonna be blubber all over the face. The most tragic story. The most tragic story ever. The most tragic story. No, I could never do that. I'm serious. That could be a real downer. I will tell you this. I hear a lot of things that when I started this business, I never expected to hear. You feel me, Noah? When I started, I thought this is fun. Oh, look, I get to play these characters, these little cartoon guys. This is awesome. When I was a little kid, I loved Speed Racer and Kimber the White Lion and these shows. And you know what? I didn't even know they were anime. I just knew they were weird. You know what I mean? Good weird. They didn't look like Scooby-Doo. They didn't sound like Roadrunner, Bugs Bunny Roadrunner. You know what I mean? They were different. They looked different, they sounded different, but I liked them. And so to get to do what I'm doing now, I just thought it was so much fun until more weighty, important shows and opportunities came along. And then I realized that there was so much more than I ever imagined. And I have heard a lot of very, 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 very tragic things. But I would not want I would not want to be responsible for the mass exodus out of the room. What's your second question? Please make a fun question, huh?
Okay. I would like your opinion on how babies are made.
I have an answer. I have an answer for you. I know the answer to this. You ready? What's your name? No, it's not. Noel and Noah? Sitting in a tree, yo. No, I'm just messing with you. Noel? Here it is. Here is how babies are made. Salt, 15 grams. Salt, 15 grams. Potassium, 9 grams. Mix it all up. Alphonse, look, a baby. Let's call her Noel. You will be our little homunculus baby. Okay, yes.
First off, can I ask for a hug for that?
Dude, get over here. Come on. Come on, baby. Give me some love. Uh-oh. What's your name?
Casey.
Casey? Cool.
Casey.
Casey, cool name. What's your question? Is that a shark tooth? Sweet action. I love sharks. You guys, when I was like 16, Jaws came out. Don't do the math. Don't do the math. 16, Jaws came out. Oh, good Lord! Vic's 59 years old. Yeah. When Jaws came out, I became fascinated with sharks. I wrote like research papers and all 25 pages of I loved sharks, dude. Actually went in a cage in Hawaii. They lowered me down in the middle of all these sharks. It was awesome! What's your question?
My question is how did you become a voice actor?
You guys, you know what? Quite by accident. I have to tell you, very much by accident. Thank you. Well, here's the thing, you guys. I had been doing a lot of acting ever since I was very young. And about 14 years ago, a friend of mine, I was working on a video production in Houston, Texas. And my friend that I was working on this video said, hey, you got a lot of acting experience, don't you? I said, oh, yeah, man, I've been doing that ever since I was 10. And he said, there's this place here in Houston called AWA Films. And they buy these Japanese animated shows and they dub them into English. And they need actors. And I was like, really? You're kidding. That sounds really fun. Now this is important, I need to stress this point. I didn't say, oh yeah, how much does it pay? I just thought it would be fun. It was an acting opportunity, I like to act, right? It was a completely different kind of acting, right? Because when you're on stage, think about it, when you're in a stage production, you have all kinds of tools at your disposal. You have your facial expressions. All I'd have to do is look at this guy and go, and he'd be like, crap, he's mad at me. Without a word, right? Or you have your gestures, you have your costume, right? You have makeup, you have so many things to create a character with, visually. You have none of those in voice acting. You just have your voice. So it was a real challenge, and I thought it would be fun. So I did it. I went to AWA, and they were a little tiny production company at the time, and they cast me in Street Fighter 2 as Vega. Yes, the clawed one. And I thought it was fun. It was a neat experience, and then I figured it was done, right? I did it, it was fun, go back to my normal life. And then a few weeks later, they called me and said, hey, we've got this other show. You want to come and do it? I'm like, no, sure, okay. Went and did that one. Now, the funny thing also was, I didn't even know what they did with these things once we recorded them. Did they? I guess they sold them somewhere, right? I mean, they'd have to make their money back on them, but I didn't know where they sold them. I didn't know what they ever did with them. I just did it because I thought it was fun. Meanwhile, I was writing music for a production company, and that's the kind of stuff that I was doing professionally, video and film work, and I was writing jingles and music for ad agencies and commercial work and stuff. So, so then the next thing you know, opportunity, they just kept doing more shows, right? And I just kept doing it. And the next thing you know, somebody invites me to an anime convention. I was like, what? They have conventions for this stuff? I mean, I went to Star Trek conventions when I was a little kid, but I didn't know they had anime conventions. So I went, and I was blown away by the fact that people came up like dressed as characters that I played. And people had me sign action figures of my characters, and wall scrolls, and pencil boards. I was completely blown away. I had no idea any of that even existed. Well then, while I was at a convention, I met some people from Funimation in Dallas, and they invited me to come and work for them. And then I met some people a couple of years later in Los Angeles, and they invited me to come and do some work for them. And that's how it started. Isn't that random? I didn't beat the pavement. I didn't knock on doors all day. I didn't send out 100 resumes. I didn't pass out demo tapes. It just was an opportunity that opened up, and that's why, don't get mad, don't get offended. I'm not being religious, I'm just telling you the truth. That's why I make sure and give all the credit to God for the opportunities that I've been given. Because I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do it. I didn't plan it. I didn't strategize it. It was just an opportunity. So I want to make sure and give credit where credit is due. I promised him I would always do that. So I'm going to do it. And I'm hoping that I'm not offending anyone. I hope not. Nothing. I would never want to offend anyone. But I got to tell the truth. And that's the truth. I have to recognize somebody who I love so very much. She's had a pretty rough year or so. But I want you guys to meet one of my sweetest friends. She was an officer in the Rangers for a long time, and she came to this convention hoping that that the spirit here and the affection and the excitement and the enthusiasm, all these people together loving all this stuff, would help kind of raise her spirits and lift her spirits a little bit. So I decided that I wanted us to do that. Will you help me do that? You guys, this is my sweet friend Audrey. Say hi to Audrey. And I want you to say, we love you, Audrey. If you see her walking around the con, glomp her. Now, she's not very big, so you can probably knock her over, so don't hurt her, but let her know how much you love her and that you're glad she's here. There's no way we have 5 minutes left. Are you kidding? Is that? No. I'm sorry, say again?
Do you want to play your video track?
Well, I want to do a lot of things. That's the problem. We have no time. Okay, you know what? I want to talk to you guys, so pick a question. Yes?
Hi. I was wondering, what is the one role that you always really wanted to play, the character you always wanted to be, but just never got to play? Someone else got it before you.
Oh, there are many of those.
What's the number one
Well, you know, what's your name?
Alex.
Alex. You know what? People have asked me that before, and I used to answer. What I mean by that is I used to be honest and tell people there were certain characters that I really wanted to play, and I didn't get to. But then somebody told me something one day that never occurred to me. I never thought about. You know what they said? They said, you know, Vic, when people ask you characters you wanted to play and you say them, the audience could get the impression that you're somehow dissing the guy that ended up playing the role. What if that voice actor thinks that you're basically saying you could have done a better job? You know what I mean? What if the audience thinks that you're basically kind of, you know, I wanted to do that, but I wouldn't. And when I heard them, when they told me that, when I heard them say that, I was like, oh my gosh, I would never want somebody to think that. Some of my best friends have ended up playing characters that I wanted to play, or did play at one time. And so I would never want them to think that I was somehow wanting to take away anything from their performance in a role. So I stopped answering that question for that reason. Now I will tell you that there are some roles that I did play, and then the company that had the license lost the show, and another company picked up the show and recast it from the beginning. I can tell you that, and there were a couple of characters that I was playing that I really enjoyed, and I lost the chance to play those characters. One of them was Sergeant Frog. Oh my gosh, you guys, I played Ketoro. And I loved it so much. I gave him a cute little speech thing, like a little nerd, and because, you know, he loves to build the Gundam models and stuff. And we had recorded about 15 episodes already. We were well into the series, and then the company lost the license, and another company picked it up and just started over. So, you know, that kind of thing happens. That's just part of life. What's the other, what was the show that was on? Sorry? Oh, I dare not talk about that. Somebody was clearly in the Ask an Anime character panel yesterday. But there are a lot of those characters. They're characters that you always kind of hope you get to play, and sometimes you get to. My big dream character that I'm very excited that I got to play was Tamaki. But as an actor, you really risk a big jinxing yourself. You know, you risk jinxing yourself by getting your sights set on one guy you want to play. Because, you know what I mean? It's, sometimes then you don't get to play that when you're all bummed out. And there were also characters that I wanted to play, and I didn't get cast in that character. I got cast in the other guy, and the other guy turned out to be more fun than I ever imagined. A perfect example of that would be like Full Metal Panic. If you guys know Kurtz Weber, I auditioned, I wanted to play Sosuke Sagara. He's the lead guy, but then when I got cast as Kurtz, I'm like, Kurtz is awesome. He's so fun. And so, you know, everything kind of works out the way it's supposed to. So, question? You have your own fan club back there. That's awesome. Oh, you do. Hi. What's your question, sweetheart?
I have two questions.
We'll pick one because we have a lot of people here. I think we want to just kind of spread it out. Is that okay?
Mine kind of goes together. Okay. Tomorrow's my birthday and all, and I'm not asking you to sing happy birthday. I promise.
No, we're gonna beat you to it. Yes.
You already did that. Yes.
What is your question, sweetie?
I have something for you to give you tomorrow. It's a picture.
You're not allowed to give me things on your birthday.
And
who taught you how to celebrate birthdays?
Me?
You're supposed to just sit back and let your friends love on you and bring you prezzies.
And I drew a picture of Edward for you.
Well, I would love to have that
I wanted to
picture.
give it to you, but I forgot my sketchbook today.
Okay. Well, maybe you can give it to me later.
Yay!
Okay? Hey, listen, I think that I'm doing an autograph session too. Right after, what time? 8 o'clock? Okay, now I know that there are other things scheduled, but if I didn't get the chance to meet you guys, I would love to do that. So I'm gonna be, oh my gosh, that's scary. So I'm gonna be down, where is it? Is it gonna be in front of the dealer's room? Right in front of the dealer's room entrance at 8 o'clock. I'll be down there. For those of you that know that I write and produce music professionally, a lot of you guys wrote me emails and asked me if I would be bringing music CDs this year. I've got CDs with some great songs from different anime series on them, and I'll have those at the autograph session as well. But man, you know what I'm gonna do next year? Can we make a promise? You guys make a promise with me. If you promise to meet me in this room 1 year from now, next year for AWA, I'm going to beg them and plead with them to let me have like an hour-and-a-half panel. So we can have more fun, we can show some fun things, we can get to more questions, we can sing to more people named Noah, we can do all kinds of things that we didn't get to do in the limited time we had. So, thank you guys for coming. I love y'all. Hey, do me a favor, Fingerman, play that video while people are leaving. Can you do that for me, please?